Good morning. It's 5:45 a.m. Saturday morning, and I'm laying in bed. So I got up this morning and responded to a text message, and got some notifications in my YouTube account, which I suspect are probably the comments that were on this particular video that I made a long time ago were referencing. The title was referencing my ex-family, Jim Culligan and Tanya Culligan. So there were two comments, which I find it's not a coincidence when you find things like this. We're dealing with people who are either Tanya and Jim themselves, or people who are associated with Tanya and Jim, who are exhibiting what I call nervous response. Nervous response is a term that I coined myself, and it's basically when a person is guilty or associated with somebody who is guilty, who acts inappropriately or behaves inappropriately with a response or action or whatever, because they don't know how to hide their guilt. Like, there was a time when I had contacted the CPA about my targeting, about this bullshit that was going on, and instead of responding appropriately with concern or handling the situation honestly and upfront, they show this sort of aggression towards you. So I personally think that if my ex-family, there's some things that are beyond repair, and like I can never soften my stance towards them, because what they've caused me is too much, and I accept that, and I just would rather move on. And for people who want to, there's always going to be people who are going to want to hang on to this issue, okay? And I know that when you're dealing with people who have been a part of a group mentality, because this has been going on a long time, longer than like I said, my family has been my rivals, and I didn't even know that this was going on for a very long time. So if you want to go back to 2008, which actually goes back further, if you want to go back to 2008, just that time period, just that right there, okay? That people have been on the Facebook issue, and they've been gathering, people who've been following this for a very, very long time, because they kept thinking you're throwing the religious issue into it, and so there was this huge following. And people, like I said, are walking time bombs. They want to go off. They want to direct their aggression and their anger towards anybody, okay? And that's people. People are evil. That's one of the reasons why mobbing is so easy. You can get people to participate in mobbing situations, even though they don't know this person personally. They just want to direct their anger out on someone. So, now that, and really, I don't care what anybody says. You can't argue it. You can argue it, but it's going to be nonsensical, and it's going to be pointless, because it's common sense that no one has the right to do something like this to another human being. They don't have the right to do that. Okay? You might have your opinions, you might have your whatever, but you don't have the right to do these sort of things to other people. You don't. So when I see these comments, and I do remember, my ex-sister Tanya writing me an email and pretending that it was somebody else one time. This is an issue that really upsets her, because it conflicts with her sense of reality, or how things are supposed to be. It really does. And there's certain things, that kind of that I've experienced something similar to that. Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to think that, and I know this is ridiculous, but every time I would read like National Geographics or whatever, and for whatever reason, I always thought that Indian people, like Hindus or whatever, were just serious, like they never laugh, because those are the only depictions that I've ever seen of people like that. Like, I've only seen them like in religious ceremonies or whatever. So I didn't know that Hindu people who were Hindus, could laugh. And when I saw somebody laughing that was Hindu, it kind of threw me off. And I know that sounds stupid, but that was my reality. It's like, well, they don't laugh. They don't. It's impossible. It just never occurred to me. But they do. They do laugh. And but it was conflicting with what I thought in my brain. And I know it's stupid, right? But that's how it is. So the same thing with Tanya, my ex-sister Tanya. She and her mind have been indoctrinated into a certain idea. She's indoctrinated into a certain way of thinking. Okay? And she struggles with that. Okay? But that's not my problem. It's not my problem. I don't have a problem with severing ties from my family. I don't. Because there's certain things that can happen in a person's life that is so traumatic. And to me, it is unforgivable. It's unforgivable for somebody to hide their face and work out their aggressions with other people. Okay? And instead of having a regular dialogue. And the thing is that you should never place expectations on a person to live out certain things that you believe when there was never an agreement to do so in the first place. Okay? So no matter how you slice it, Tanya and Jim are in the wrong. They're in the wrong. Okay? So, when I get these comments from people on this particular video that was specifically addressing them, that, you're dealing with what I call nervous response. Nervous response of maybe these people are associated with it, or it could be them altogether. Who knows? But cease and desist any further contact. I mean, I'm not talking about the people who, if they're not associated with Jim and Tanya Culligan, whatever, but if you are Tanya and Jim Culligan, cease and desist any and all contact with me. Period. I don't want to have a relationship with you. Period. I don't agree with what you've done. I don't agree with your views. And I have every right to not agree with your views. And the reason why is because your views were imposed on me, not under any agreement, but under deceit, because this was never a family agreement to see things the way that you see them, and then trying to impose your views as far as what I do for a living, these sort of things. So I accept it. I don't feel any need or sense of guilt from walking away from my family. I don't feel any guilt or anything. To me, what you've done is it's over the top. Okay? And it shows you how what's the word for it? It's immature. It is immature. It is immature to get other people involved in your little group activity to try to gang up on a person so that you can try to change. You're not going to change my point of view. You had the whole country, okay, turned against one person. And I will tell you right now, just because you had so much backing doesn't mean you're going to change my view, because my view is right. I'm right, and I know I'm right. Okay? But what you did have, you infected a lot of people with your cult mind control mentality. And like I said, people enjoy ganging up on other people. Okay? These people who followed you, they don't know me from Jack. They don't know me. All they know is that, they knew that I was in the family. I didn't belong to your church. I had a child out of wedlock. And then I guess they knew that some weird shit was going on with 2008 Facebook stuff. And then that's all they know. And with those little pieces of information in their mind, they think, oh, I'm somebody who's running around. You guys broke up my relationship with my ex-husband. Okay, with all of this stuff, all this crap going on, it started making me think, okay, what's going on? And then you informed him, with false information. And then he started doing stuff. And then I started finding out about his mom and all this other stuff. So I left. I will never be married to somebody who manipulates my employment. I will never want to be associated with anybody who would do something like that. What you did was a serious crime, and it was abusive. Okay? And the only thing now, and you can try to get people to write comments on my thing. You can do whatever you want to, but it's best to just cease fire, because I know what's right for me, and what's not right for me is you guys. You're not right for me. Okay, even even like, for example, when people try to be nice, like the last time you tried to set up a job for me at some place that's like, for Hasidic Jews, nothing wrong with Hasidic Jews, but it's always going to be that way. You're never going to have a respect for me as a person because I hurt your pride. That's why. So I accept that. So let it go. Okay? Do not contact me anymore. Or any roundabout way or whatever. I know what the situation is. What you did was wrong. What you did was seriously wrong. Okay? And there's still going to be some idiots out there who are going to follow you because they seriously want to drag this issue on. I'm not interested in dragging it on. Okay? You want to be a supporter of Jim and Tanya? Be a supporter of Jim and Tanya. But I'm no longer in the family. Okay? There's nothing you can say that's going to convince me to want to be a part of the family. Okay? Because you guys have caused me high levels of anxiety for the last few decades. Constantly, day and night, I was worried about what was going on. And all of this was unnecessary. It's sick. It's very sick. So no, I'm not going to deal with it. So anyway, I'm going to start addressing the town now and other people who subscribe to my channel. I'm taking today to do my projects and that's it. I don't even know if I'm going to leave the house. If I do leave the house, that would be, yeah, I might leave the house maybe later on this morning, but I'm pretty much just kind of in a brainstorming session this day, and I'm taking this time to try to start thinking about certain things I want to do. After this particular video, I would prefer not to focus on this particular topic. Since I am working on a video or a presentation, I know there's certain elements that I'm going to have to, talk about or write about. But I'm not going to, I don't want to focus on, what my family did or anything like that. I just don't want to think about those things. It's just something I'd rather not focus on. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to take baby steps to not think about them at all. Because and that's why I don't want to deal with, I accept, I don't love them. There's nothing like, you can't make somebody love somebody, and I can't love them. I can't love somebody who would abuse me that way. And maybe, and I understand when you're indoctrinated in a